I was with Jamal when he passed, me and his sister. And I can't say it was, he was so peaceful, but it was a gut-wrenching moment for me. Literally felt like someone's...
My name's Ashley Cain, and I am the father of an angel.
Hello.
I'm gonna start it right. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, you give good hugs.
It was a hard conversation for both of us.
This chain is Jamal's chain. This was the chain he had on him when he passed.
Even though Brenda is in such pain and suffering such trauma from the loss of her son,
I was angry, very angry. It wasn't even 24 hours. I can't process this because social media is going crazy.
she has a very forward-thinking way of coping with her grief.
I'm like, why is this fox here? What is going on? And then I started talking to... People have been saying, this is you. Is this you, Jamal? Anybody look at me, think I'm crazy, I've lost it.
She doesn't believe in running away from it. She doesn't believe in running from it. She believes in moving with it and keeping her son very present in her life. I'm Ashley Cain, and this is MTV Faces. I guess I'd like to start by, to the small percentage of people that didn't know Jamal, even to the people that did, I want you to tell me about the real Jamal and who he is.
I find it very hard to talk about him in the past tense. So to me, he is my baby. And he's always been my baby. It's, I just know him as a beautiful soul. He's a beautiful soul who was always helpful to everybody. And when he passed, that was something that became very evident to other people as well, which was comforting but sad at the same time, because I'm left thinking, well, why is my beautiful soul no longer here?
I'm interested to know, was that when your grief journey started? And how was it to cope with losing a child? Because I know what it was like in my own experience, but I'm actually the age of Jamal,
Okay.
How did that affect you?
It's affected me greatly. I mean, going back, both of my parents died in a car crash when I was 4, and my mum's mum and brothers and sisters raised me and my brother. For myself, I think I've always had a belief and a faith that no matter what you go through, you pick yourself up, you dust your shoulders off, and you continue. I've had such an outpouring of people saying they don't know how I'm coping, they don't know how I'm doing it, they don't know how I'm smiling, they don't know how I'm laughing. But all of these are emotions that some of them might be a wall to hide how I'm feeling it, because I'm constantly sad about what's happened. No mistake about that. And just because of the grief that I've gone through with my parents, I know it's not going to leave me. I know this feeling of pain and upset and sadness is not going to leave me, but there's so much of Jamal's presence around me that I refuse to be down all the time, because he wouldn't like that. He just wouldn't like that. And obviously I've still got my daughter there. I have to stay strong for her. She's staying strong for me. We're staying strong for each other. I'm just very grateful that I have a really great support network around me. And they're there, and I've kind of said, don't ask me how I am, because, that makes you go to a certain place, but just know if I need you, then I know you're there. But how are you today? How do you think I am? It's that kind of, and I don't want to offend people by saying, well, how do you think I feel?
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's like when you're going into a singing competition and you lose and they say, how does that make you feel? I'm gutted.
Yeah.
Of course I'm gutted. Yeah. I wanted to win. But I don't want to always say that. I don't want to always be saying how I feel, because I've got to deal with it and process it in my own way. And so a lot of my friends and family, they just understand, and they like, okay, when she's ready, she'll come and talk to us.
Yeah.
We know she'll come and talk to us. And that kind of works for me. Like I said, that's not for everybody, that's for me.
Do you know what though? Number one, I wanted to, you know, tell you, it's an honor to be sitting next to such a strong and inspirational and positive lady like yourself. You know, I want to also tell you that, you know, Jamal is so proud of you, you know, and it gives me strength listening to how you've coped with things, how you're pushing forward, because it gives me reassurance that maybe I am doing things right. You know, Jamal's passing wasn't your first onset of grief. It seems like grief's something that you've been dealing with your whole life. I wanna bring it to something now, and because I wanted to kind of know how you felt about it. It's something that I've struggled with, you know. In those final moments of my little girl, yeah, you know, I'd had a build up of that, knowing that moment was gonna happen. It still didn't make me, you know, any more prepared for it, you know. I just remember in that time thinking, like, you know, I didn't know how my daughter was gonna die, you know. All I knew that is I wanted her in my arms when she did, you know. And I just remember, you know, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then she didn't breathe again. And I had an immediate attack at that point, you know, where my body shut down, you know, and I needed medical attention myself. But I guess my point is, I am haunted by that moment. Not and the last thing I want to do is I don't mean I'm haunted, and I don't want her to feel like she's haunted me, because it's not her. I had to be there, and I'm glad that I was. The fact that hurts me is, I think, you know, as a parent, like, you go through your life, yeah, falling down, so that when your child falls down, you say, don't worry, it's gonna be all right. You go through all of these moments in your life and experience hurt, experience pain, so that when your child does, you're a person that they can look to for reassurance. It's going to be okay, you know, that they can always come to. And one thing that I feel guilty for, and I don't think the guilt will ever leave me, is like, I know that, you know, my daughter made the biggest journey of her life without me being at the other side to tell her it's going to be okay, or with her. And I don't know if that guilt will ever leave me. And I don't know whether I should feel guilty about it or not, because I guess there's nothing I could have done, but it's still hard. You know, that's one of the hardest things I feel with my grief. It's that guilt that I weren't there at the other side to welcome her in with open arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel
I mean, I was with Jamal when he passed, me and his sister. And I can't say it was so peaceful, but it was a gut-wrenching moment for me. Literally felt like someone's I just think I've been so luckily busy. It's the way that I've been busy has helped me not to think it's a year. So I'm like, every day there is always something that I've been doing since that day, every single day. And it's because there's my thing, Brenda Edwards, and then there's the SBTV side, and now there's the trust side. So there's always been something, and within one day I could have six different things going on. And I think that's why I'm not, that's why in my thing, I can't believe this has been a year. I can't believe it's been a year, because as much as I'm pinching myself and I can feel that, I still feel what I felt almost a year ago. And that's, I don't know if it's because I was with him when he passed that I just have those thoughts and those visions. And so maybe I'm keeping myself busy so that I can, and keeping my mind doing other things so that it's not thinking about those thoughts of when I'm there cradling him as he's, you know.
Yeah, but I just want to say something to you, yeah. Like, there's running away from your emotions, yeah. That's one thing. There's keeping yourself busy so you don't feel certain emotions. But then you name 3 things, yeah, that you're doing. Brenda Edwards, you know, Brenda Edwards PLC. Who's that? Jamal's mom. Yeah. SBTV. What is that? Jamal's work. Yeah. The foundation. His beliefs.
Yeah.
His wants. The thing that he always did to give back, to give other people a chance. So, yeah, you are keeping yourself busy.
Yeah.
But in all the things that you are doing, you're immersing yourself on a day-to-day basis in Jamal's life.
I just, you know, his face is forever in front of me. It's forever, and I'm just looking at his beautiful eyes. His beautiful. And I just see it, and I'm just thinking of all those talks that he did to empower people, and I'm truly grateful, truly grateful for the time that I've had with him here, and I know I will have more when I see him. I will see him again, and my regret would be that I worked too hard. I did too much, but that was because I had to do what I had to do. And at the time when children are young, they probably don't see that. They just see mum and daddy's not here a lot. But then when he got older, he was like, I get it now. I get it. I understand. I realise nothing good comes easy, and you always have to work hard for it, and to be truly grateful of what you've achieved. And so I think that's if there was, aside from the obvious, if I could change, another thing that I would change is just to have that time back to just maybe not work so hard, so that, you know, or find another way of achieving what I've achieved that gives me a bit more time. I just want more time now. I just want more time.
More time. That's the most precious commodity that this world holds, right?
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. The beautiful thing but sad thing about life, really. It's you don't really know what's around the corner, and I just keep getting hit round each corner. Every corner I look, I seem to get hit, and something wants to wind me and knock me down. It's like who's try and keep coming from. Why you keep? But you know, people have said to me since Jamal's passing, everything happens for a reason. I would like to know what this reason is, because I don't know what reason.
I don't like that. I used to like the term everything happens for a reason until, you know,
what happened. Yeah.
I lost my daughter to cancer. I think I understand the fact that, you know what, since I've become the best version of myself I can be. I understand that since, you know, I've helped so many people. I understand that since Azaylia's legacy is saving children's lives, I still don't like the fact that it had to happen to do so.
Exactly.
You know, so I don't like that saying.
Yeah.
But I think with that being said, and it's similar to a point that you picked up on, I have to sometimes just look at myself in the mirror. You know, on those days where I don't want to get up, and those days where I feel like, you know, I don't want to be here anymore. I think I have to just take a deep and honest and brave look at myself and think, you know what? If my daughter had to lose her life to cancer, if she had to fight the fight that she had to fight, I refuse to let her passing be in vain. And I think, you know, when you can be honest and transparent and brave enough to look at yourself in the mirror and think, you know, this journey is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. But out of the amount of love we have for our children comes an unmatchable strength to move on.
Absolutely.
You know, it's an easy answer for someone to, when they go to me, how can you do it? Because I say exactly what you say. I keep my daughter very much present in my life.
Yes.
Azaylia is beautiful.
Yes.
Azaylia is special.
Yeah.
Azaylia does this. Yeah. So I say, you know, if your child is here in front of you, or your child is somewhere and they're in pain or they're hurting or they're looking up to you, I said, you make sure you get there as quick as possible. I said, you make sure you're the best parent that you can possibly be. You make sure that when your child goes up, they are proud of you. And I said, and I'm still trying to do the exact same thing.
Exactly.
Because for me, when I'm feeling pain or when I'm pushing myself, she's around me, sitting on my shoulder, pushing me along. And I think the fact of keeping Azaylia present in my life and still trying to be the best daddy that I can be is my superpower and is my strength, you know?
No, I think with mum and dad, because I was so young, I think I don't know, but because I can't remember, but I know I've blocked out so much of the memories. There weren't that many.
Yeah.
I said there weren't that many from the age when I was born till I was 4. So over the time, I forgot things.
Yeah.
And I found myself later being hurt at the fact that I'd forgotten. Why can't I remember mum and dad? Why can't I remember? There's 2 small things that I do remember, which is they played music all the time. Music was a staple of my household. And the other thing was a curry sauce, smell and texture.
Yeah.
And flavour even. So it's almost like the senses were lit up in a different way. Yeah. But I feel that they're with me, but I feel Jamal is with me. I feel his presence every single day. And I'm glad that I can say that I feel that. I have him in the forefront of my mind, just always saying, keep going, keep going, keep going. You can do this, you can do this. And he always had that belief. So I always say that you'll come across so much disappointment in your life, but the disappointment shouldn't define you. Don't let it be what defines you. Let it be what makes you make a difference or make a change.
Yeah. It's controlling that narrative of what you believe, not what you see, what you think, what you believe.
Yeah,
you know,
and that is what it comes down to. Self-belief. You know, it's like that will always stick with me. The self-belief, and I have to make my own narrative. I'm not allowing anybody to tell me about Jamal or to in the way of how I should be or how I should grieve. This is my way. But you know, sometimes people do want to take control of that and tell you how they think you should be grieving.
Yeah, but you know what it's like as as a mother of children, and as a father, I'm very protective of that. And I'd encourage anybody to feel the same about this. Do not let any outsider, tell you how you need to see your loved ones who have passed away. If I see an orange sky, that's my daughter. I can honestly say that I've never ever seen so many orange skies and deep orange skies as I did when my daughter passed away, because that was her colour. Yeah. I used to walk out my house and every side to the left was an orange sky, every side to the right was a rainbow. It was crazy. Now, every time I am feeling really down, like some of these challenges that I do, guess what? It gets to the evening, there's an orange sunset. When I go abroad and I land in the country, guess what? The first day I land there, there's an orange sunset. When I say my prayers, I ask the Lord, I say, you know, please let my daughter continue showing me signs.
Yes.
Because in her signs, I gain my strength.
Absolutely.
And how I explain it to people is, if we can't even understand, you know, 98% of our brain, if we've never been to the bottom of the ocean yet, who's to tell me that that orange sky isn't my daughter?
Well, there is that. Jamal's colour was blue.
Do you understand?
So it's I totally relate to you know, I knew he, obviously a lot of people who knew him knew he was mad Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Crazy. He eat, sleep, breathe Chelsea. And he left in his wishes for Chelsea to be remembered some way at his homegoing. And it's funny, it's only since February that blue has really played a big part.
Prominent.
In it's shining through. And you know, on his homegoing day, when we were laying him to rest, I looked up at the sky and there were no clouds in the sky at all. It was absolutely beautiful, crystal clear blue. The only cloud that was in the sky was doing a J. That was it. Nothing else. And where the J was, it was directly above where we laid him to rest. And it didn't move for beautiful. That whole time. I know clouds move, right? They move slowly, but they move.
But things start happening, don't they? You know, and
you don't even want to know the half of things that have happened.
I think we should embrace these moments.
Yeah.
Like I say, there's so many things in this world that we don't know.
Yeah.
You know, if something happens, rather than thinking of all the reasons why it's not a thing,
yeah,
just embrace it.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely believe in those things, and I get an insane amount of comfort from knowing and believing that she's still around me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people close that door. A lot of people are so kind of matter of fact. If they don't see it, it's not happening.
Yeah.
But
you have to open your mind to that belief. And I think once you open your mind to that, then things will come to you.
Yeah.
There's so many different things, like a fox chasing me. Where's this fox come? This fox chased me and it's sat right there. Foxes don't do that.
Yeah.
But when I gave Jamal the camera for Christmas, that was the first thing he filmed in the back garden. Foxes. He used to talk to them like they were his brethren. You know, this fox, dopey eyes, sat like it's any dog waiting to be petted. And I'm like, why is this fox here? What is going on? And then I started talking to, are you hungry? Are you hungry? I went up and got it some food because that's what you do. Yeah. I went to work, came back, and I thought the fox had gone, come out of my car, go back into the apartment. The fox comes again. This is like 7 hours later. It's the same fox. Yeah. And it's like the fox wants me to acknowledge it. And I did. And I says, okay, so what have you been doing all day? And I'm there talking to it like some mad woman. Anybody look at me, think I'm crazy, I've lost it. And then the minute I said, because I put the first video up on my social media and says, this fox has been chasing me. I don't know what's going on, but I'm scared.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, this is Jamal. You know it's Jamal. And I was like, I know, I want to, but no. And then I start talking to the fox the second time. And I says, people have been saying this is you. Is this you, Jamal? And it looked up and walked.
Yeah.
As I said his name, looked up, walked. It was, and for me, that's like, it's, the fox acknowledged, oh yeah, okay, mummy knows I'm here and she's acknowledged me. So now I know she's here. I can walk and go and do what I'm doing and I'll see you soon.
You know, losing a child, that's never going to be understood, you know? So the ways that you act around that also aren't meant to be understood. And similar to what you said, you know, you said you were speaking to this fox. You said, people looking at me must think I was crazy.
I think I was crazy.
Yeah. But I started acting in certain kind of ways, right? And I was unapologetic in it, right? But I used to sit there and I used to think, if someone's seeing me now, right, like I look really foolish, But I thought, you know what? I have to stay true to myself. And I see a lot of people out there that are, I'm not saying that you're coping, by the way. I wouldn't even say that I'm coping.
not coping.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that I'm coping. I think it's difficult to cope. You have to do things monotonously on a day-to-day basis to get through it. But what I would say is, I would always kind of encourage people to, be at one with these moments, because I find a lot of people cut these things off.
Yes.
They make it not a possibility. Yeah. They see a lot of things as matter of fact, but they're also the people that are crippled and find it hard to get out of bed in the morning. I think the only beauty that you can find as a grieving parent or as a grieving person is the beauty that you have in moments, in memories, and happy places. Happy moments, happy memories, and happy places.
Absolutely.
And once you don't have that false kind of expectation that finally one day it's going to be better, you can start moving forward. I always say, like, if grief is this circle, the circle will never ever shrink. It's like your strength grows around it. Yes. It will always remain the same. Yeah. And in a way, Brenda, I don't want my grief to shrink.
No.
I don't want it to go away.
No.
I don't want to wake up one morning and not feel sad. Because one of my biggest transitions in my grief journey is it's my daughter's second year anniversary on the 24th of April. And in the first year, it was like very raw. Like I was so angry. I was so confused. I missed her. Like, where is she? Why did it happen? Do you know what I mean? Then when I got into my second year, something hit me that I never, because I was so wrapped up in the initial grief that I felt, something hit me that I never ever expected. And it became hard in a way, because it was kind of like, I know that she's not here anymore, but then I was thinking, I was getting upset because I was thinking, I'm forgetting what she feels like. I'm forgetting what she smells like. I'm forgetting how her lips feel. Yeah. And I'm forgetting the instinctive feelings of all these things that I had. And it was hard to accept that year by year, I forget even more. Yeah. And that was a hard reality of my grief journey. Yeah. But I guess that's why it's so important that, there's far more beyond what the eyes can see or what the hands can feel.
Absolutely.
If you feel these things, feel them.
No, I mean, I'm not closing any doors. It's, it's like this chain is Jamal's chain. And this was the chain he had on him when he passed, and I've just kept it SBTV.
Oh, beautiful.
I know what you mean about those smells, and it's like his brush is there. I literally closed his bedroom door because it hurt having it open and nobody's coming out. So that's why I closed it. But then I opened it almost 10, 11 months. I kept it and opened it 10, 11 months afterwards, and his sister came out of her room and saw the door opened, and she just started crying. And I didn't think about how it affected her as well, in that way of she's going through her own grief in her way as well. It's like that door's open, and I always there's so many places that I go where he used to go, and I'm looking around the corner thinking he's going to come around the corner. I'm still and I don't want that to go, but at the same time, it's the sadness of looking around the corner. He's not coming around that corner. And that's the part that hurts for me. But I do treasure those memories so much. And whereas it's different with mum and dad because I was so young, so I've naturally just forgotten, I am determined not to forget. I'm determined not to forget. If anything, what I'm doing with his legacy will make sure that I don't forget, but more importantly, will make sure people remember.
That's it.
And I try to just say to people, please just, remember Jamal for what he did for you, and hold on to those happy moments rather than the sad moment, which is always going to be with you. It's never going to go. But it's, he passed, and it's pictures up everywhere. It's which was hard for me.
Well, I was going to ask this point because who was I speaking to? Was it was Debbie McGee? I think it was.
Right.
Was it? Random. Oh, right.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to laugh. But she made like a really like grand observation that stuck with me, which I didn't think of before. You know, the loss of my child and the loss of your child was very public. Yeah. So people always used to ask me, oh, you know, is it difficult, you know, it being so public? And Debbie McGee said something this year, and you know, you never know what someone's going through on a day-to-day basis, why they're having a bad day, the reason why they reacted how they reacted. She was like, but she was saying that how she had the luxury of, you know, everyone that come up to her knew about what had happened, and they'd be like, oh, I loved your husband.
Yeah.
Oh, he was so amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, he impacted my life. Oh, he brought so many great childhood memories. And she was like, so in a way that everybody from the outside would think it would be negative, it actually really helped me, the fact that he was known and was loved by so many, and they knew the situation, because when they approached me, they approached me with love of the person that I loved and lost.
Absolutely. And I do hold on to that. But that's what I mean. It's nice to get that love, but at the same time, it's so bittersweet. I mean, the one thing I didn't like was the fact that the announcement of him passing was taken away from me. I didn't like that. That's the one thing that, you know, I think people should have just had that respect for him and for me. That's nobody else's business. When I want to say whatever I want to say, then I should be able, and I have the right, as he's my son, I should have had the right to be announcing that, but that was taken out of my hand. And up to now, and I've kind of, at first when I saw it was out there on the social media, I know I hadn't put it out there or asked anyone to put it out there on my behalf. I was angry, very angry, and it's a shame because it took away from that moment of my grief to who did that, who had the nerve and the cheek to do that.
You couldn't sit in it in that necessary time and understand it.
It wasn't even 24 hours. Yeah. It wasn't 24. This was on the same night. It's like 5-6 hours afterwards. I can't process this because social media is going crazy. Tell me this isn't true. Tell me this. Can somebody? I tried to find him. I'm like, seriously. Even if whether it's true or not, that was a bit of disrespect that I don't think I'll ever be able to come to terms with that side of things.
Did you ever have to revisit it? You know, because you missed that crucial. Because let's not sugarcoat this and go around it. That there is a moment. I will never be able to explain. I can't put into words how traumatic and how devastating and how destructive that moment is to a person.
Yeah. When
you weren't allowed to have that moment.
No.
Have you felt that you've managed to revisit it, or is it something that you feel has been taken away? You know,
it's been taken
as well as your son being taken away. That moment, that crucial moment for anybody, especially a parent losing a child, that was taken away from you.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I can't revisit it because it's too painful. Just knowing that I didn't have control. Something that I should have had control of, it was totally out of my control, and I will never get that back. And even, you know, it's like the thought that something is out there while my baby is still with me on the premises. Do you know what I mean? It's like, how? I just don't know what.
There's no respect and there's no justice in that decision. That's so hard. That one part, I don't know if whoever started it understands how hurtful that was. The impact that it's had.
Yeah. And that's kind of, but in a positive way, to turn that negative into a positive, I was determined that I'm doing this, and you're gonna find out from me what I'm doing now with this and this and this and this. And that's kind of, I always have to flip that negative into a positive.
But you said it at the start, yeah. It's not what happens to you that defines you. It's what you choose to do about it.
Yeah.
Before we wrap this up, Brenda, it's an important part. You know, it's something that we have to do in terms of, you know, our children's lives. Yeah. My daughter's anniversary is coming up. It's the 24th of April. It's the second anniversary, and I know it's the first anniversary
of Jamal on the 20th of February.
Can I just ask you, like, it's difficult because it's the first one, you know? How are you looking to mark this occasion?
And just with the same as with Jamal's homegoing, it's a celebration of life.
Yeah.
Whatever I end up doing, I might be dancing till 6 a.m. in the morning from 7 p.m.
I think you probably will be.
Well, that's what I did at his homegoing. I think I had 3 hours before the day of the homegoing. And, you know, we're up. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. And it was probably 7 a.m. the following morning that I went to sleep because I was up dancing. Jamal loved music. He loved music. He loved dancing. He was a good dancer. And I don't know what we're going to do, me and his sister, but I know we're going to do it well, and we're going to party hard, just like Jamal would be partying hard.
I remember my daughter's day, yeah, and Azaylia was a girl that, you know, no matter what she was going through, she would always be smiling. She could have chemotherapy, she could have had an operation. She would smile through everything. So I thought, okay, well, there's one thing for sure, she'd be smiling.
Yeah.
I thought, through all of our toughest times, yeah, what did we used to do? I used to pick her up and I used to dance. Even till my arm went numb, if she's having a chemotherapy, I'd dance with her for 4 hours, 5 hours sometimes. I thought, so we definitely got to dance.
Yeah.
I thought she loved to play,
Yeah.
and she used to lift the whole room. So I thought the room has to be bright.
Yes.
Yeah. And I understand what you're saying, and people can look at you and judge you. I remember my daughter's day. My daughter's day was, you know, second to losing her, the saddest day of my life, you know? And it was for everybody around. But I thought, there's one thing for sure on this day. While she is watching down, we are going to be wearing orange, we are going to be singing, we are going to be dancing, and we are going to be showing her how amazing she really is.
Absolutely.
And one thing I would like everybody to know, because you have to be strong in this battle of grief, right, is I had certain comments towards me, you know what I mean, for this, yeah?
Yeah.
And I thought, do you know how hard it is to try and do that? This day of us being happy weren't for us.
No.
This was for that little princess that's looking down. So I love the fact that, you know what, I know that it's a hard time for you right now.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that, you know, on Jamal's day, you're going to have it.
I'm going to
Jamal would have it.
I'm going to shake 2 foot, eat some good food, and drink some good drink. And his drink was Hennessy. Anything is possible.
Yeah. So before we go, right, lastly, who are you, Vincey? Or...
Yeah, I'm Vincey.
You're Vincey?
Yeah.
I'm Vincey. Yeah.
Okay.
That's up.
I didn't know you were Vincey.
I'm Vincey. I was part of the project of the Virgin direct flight to Vincey with Jamal.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. That's how we connected.
Because he got everybody
it's very
together.
Rare to find a Vincey, a fellow Vincey. You know what I mean? so when you do, it's kind of like, yo, Vincey.
Oh, that's I loved you anyway. I've got goose pimples when you said that. That's literally popped up. Well, baby, that chapter is still fully fledged going. It's not even, you know, we haven't even started. He started, and I am continuing that. Even like with the trust, Jamal Edwards Self-Belief Trust. And, you know, my auntie Pam, she always says, you know, intentions. We're strong. We're very strong people, and
we're from the volcanic island. Come on. and
oh,
if you've
don't
ever
say
been,
come on. That's Jamal's. That's Jamal used to love. Come on.
And if you've ever been to St. Vincent, you have to be strong because there's not many flat roads. It's just like, you know, you want to walk to your house, you got to walk up.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's really, But
listen,
that means a lot that you were with him. Yeah. You know, you were one of the people that, because he was just saying me and my boys, and even when everything, he was like sending packages, and you know, me and my boys are working, but he'd just say me and my boys, me and the boys, I didn't know who the boys names, you know, so it's nice to know.
That's another reason why, you know, today, you know, there's a lot of chapters, you know, that don't close, that they just open, and I think this is one of them, you know.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Oh,
listen, is that cool?
Oh, that's lovely. Give me a little squeeze again.